Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today let's talk about education in the United States, more accurately private education. We're going to talk about Johns Hopkins University. Now, if Google is telling me correctly, Johns Hopkins University has an endowment of $4.33 billion. Goddamn. The average cost of attending college after aid is $32,000. I'm guessing this is per year, or could be the overall. We'll get into it. The acceptance rate is 13%. The graduation rate is 93%. The acceptance rate being 13%, meaning that this is for the best of the best. I could never get into Johns Hopkins, and no one in my family has even come close. So this is something. All right, the average cost. Before aid, it's $67,000. After aid, so people that manage some form of scholarship pay this much. See the graduation rate, rankings, best in USN rankings, 13 in the World University rankings, number 3 in top. Wow. So when we're talking about Johns Hopkins, we're talking about the best of the best. That is my impression. I don't know about you guys, but my impression. And this endowment, I'm guessing a significant chunk of this comes from alumni. Goddamn, $4.33 billion. When I started making this, I had no idea this would be the case. Why am I pointing this out? Well, we're going to go into Twitter. This independent journalist, Colin Campbell. There are other news sites where I can show you guys this video, but I'm going to use Colin Campbell's Twitter feed because, he took this and I think we should support his work. Let's take a look at the top 13% that goes to Johns Hopkins. Remember, 13%. So for every 100 people that applied, 87 folks could not get in. These are, well, I shouldn't say representative, but these, for every one of these people, for every 13 of these people that we're about to see of student age, 87 other people could not get into this school. These guys are, at least in their respective departments, cream of the crop.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Don't know about gender! You don't know shit about gender!
We love you! We love you! We love you!
Alright,
We
listen.
love you! We 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 love you! What's so unbelievable? You put it as much. It is unbelievable. We love you! We love you! What are you doing? We love you! Do you think this is a game? We love you!
Do you think this is a game? That's what you do best. You fucking kill people. That's what you fucking do best. You think this is a game? Ask Commander Jones.
So for people who don't not following the story, here's what happened. These students got all kinds of triggered because Johns Hopkins, they're starting their own police force. Actually, if you went to a public university in the United States, you probably know this is fairly common. This was in my school too, but it's not as commonly seen in private universities. These students got pissed off because the university police force does not meet the standards that these guys want. Several students protested them in not so favorable ways. Some folks got arrested. One of the people who got arrested was a trans person, male to female, I'm guessing, by the name of Opa or Opu or Apu, and the police put him, her, or Z in a van that was designated for men. She wasn't in any danger, but the issue is the police put a transgender person in a van with other men, and that's what led to what you guys saw here. Now, if you thought that was the worst, oh no 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 no! Wait till we see this.
Where's Opal? There's a person in that van, and then there's a child right there.
Opu is really well loved, especially by this dude or this Z. Once again, for every 13 of people that go to Johns Hopkins, 87 people got rejected. These are once again the cream of the crop, I should remind you. Opu is loved, in case you guys had a hard time figuring it out. Now, this confused me a little bit, because these guys were clapping. These guys are pro-Opu. The clapping was part of the protest.
You put a trans woman in a van with male. You know that's illegal, right? First of all, she's a woman and you put her in a van with male. Shut the fuck up! Trans woman. She's a trans woman.
For people not following, a bunch of what I can only imagine gender studies students explaining to cops what is legal and what's not.
Woman! You understand that's illegal, right? You understand that's
Okay, right now, you are hindering us. You need to move back.
Somebody get put these guys. You understand that that's illegal.
Now, I do gotta add, why are these folks dressed this way? All of them have a common, well, except this one. I think she is the Muslim trans ally. All these dudes are dressed this way. Once again, I want to point out, John Hopkins has an acceptance rate of 13%. Now, there's someone called Rashmi who's also very well loved. That name sounds like a name from my part of the world. I just feel a little embarrassed by that.
Man, stop.
So in case you haven't figured out, both Rashmi and Opu is well loved. Now this got a certain amount of coverage in the news. You'd expect that someone would tell these kids what's going on, and they shouldn't behave this way, especially with the people that's keeping them safe. Well, that's one way to go about it. Let's take a look at how the Baltimore Sun approached this. Now what? John Hopkins is committed to moving forward with his plan for a police force, but the student protesters need not view this as a defeat. They need not view that as a defeat. This passionate, engaged Hopkins students need to participate in the process, make noise. I guess that's what the guy with the microphone, he really wanted to know that Opu was loved. When appropriate, and organize further protests, if necessary, and generally help guide the school towards making good decisions. In a democracy, such involvement is not just useful, it's crucial. For folks who don't know, this is not just essential, it is crucial. Once again, I want to point out, John Hopkins has an acceptance rate of 13%, and average cost after financial aid is $32,000. Average cost without financial aid is $67,000 per annum. How many of you guys are willing to bet that the most of those people that we saw pay into this category as opposed to this category? I'm guessing most of them. So if you're an alumni donating to this school, if you are a university administrator, if you are anyway responsible for this number, please reconsider some of the choices you're making and the impact of the drones that's coming out of this. I don't know, that's all I can say. You guys, if you got anything out of this video, if you want to share it, like it, subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, you're a racist, sexist bigot.